Aloha everyone, Joshua Hayes at BigWaveTrading.com. We have a lot of long positions this evening, so I'm going to go over really quick the market. Pretty good session today. Stocks rallied overall, closed in the upper end of its intraday range on the S&P 500. The Dow Jones Industrial Average got above that first resistance line. Many more overhead for it to try to fight through. The NASDAQ also had a good session, and while not closing higher than where it opened, still basically close mid-range, but the best index obviously was the SPY. And the Russell 2000 continues its move into new high ground. It seems pretty good and everything, but once again, here we go again, everyone. Every single day, another V-shaped move into new highs. These never end well. They always end with the exact same kind of V-shaped move right back down. So when will we start our next V-shaped move back down? I don't know, but this market's insane with its V-shaped moves. The V-shaped moves are unhealthy. They do not make for the best setups. And whenever these V-shaped moves happen during seasonally poor periods of the market, it's impossible for me to increase my size per signal. So I continue with the status quo. I said coming into this week that it'd be great if we could consolidate for the entire week. So far, that is not off to a good start. Great for my long positions, and since I'm fully invested, that's good. But for the overall intermediate health of the market, I would like to see some better ebb and flow. Like one big powerful day up, 3, 4, 5 days sideways, one big powerful day up, pull back in lighter trade for 3, 4, 5 days, one big strong day up. We just never, ever, ever get that anymore. So keep that in mind with these V-shaped moves as I head into the new long positions this evening. Nothing I'm about to take is safe except for maybe MSI and SIL. SIL was in my ETF scan, confirmed in my price volume BOP scan. MSI is in my CAN Slim scan. It was confirmed in my tertiary scan. These are the only two safe quote quote trades, and they're both only going to be 1.5%, or SIL is going to be 1.5% of my account capital, and MSI is going to be 1%. And also LEVB is technically a 1.5% signal, but I'm going to reduce it down by half since BOP is going the wrong way, and it's a sub $10 stock, but it's a recent new issue, an IPO, so that automatically makes it quote quote higher quality for me, because when these things move, they can really move, a la INSP, which is why I focus on new issues. But LEVB was also my green BOP scan, so this will be the other 1% position. But besides MSI, LEVB, and SIL, everything's under 1%, so keep that in mind as we go on. SIL, 1.5% of my account capital, limit order 3080, and the status quo of multiple trailing stops continues. I'm going to initially have 6 stops on SIL. I can handle it. If you can't, then use the first 2, use the only one, use the first one and the last one. I don't care. You just need to obey some of these levels and invest accordingly to those levels. But me, with that 3080, it'll be 3019, 3010, 2951, 2922, 28.99, and 28.20 on SIL. This is a low beta play, which means lower alpha. It should still be able to do better than the market if the market moves higher here, but that's not guaranteed, so keep that in mind. MSI, new long position, limit order, high date, 108.48. 1% of my account capital. First cut loss level, 105.88. Second one, 105.05, and then I'll have a deep third at 103.17. And then LEVB. LEVB want to do the same thing, thirds, power of thirds. 480 will be my limit order. First cut loss level, 447. Second, 429. Final, 410. And with all of these long positions this evening, like always, while we do the status quo trading, which means 1% of my account capital for the initial signal and only 0.5% per each additional signal. And just to remind everyone, in a strong uptrending market, a CAN Slim signal could be 2.5%. If it's in the perfect speculator, you've now got a 5% long position. The most any stock can be if they're in both of those scans right now is 1.5%. So 5% long signal or 1.5% long signal. What does that tell you about what I think about our overall uptrend? Great signals in the stock market, but the market's off. We're in a seasonally poor month still, May. We're uptrending in a V-shaped move, as you can see here on the IWM, on no volume. There has been 0 above average volume days on the SPY since the April lows. The diamond has not had one either. The QQQ has had a couple, and that's it. The IWM has had one. So keep that in mind. That's about how awesome this market is right now. So small, measured positions continue. Now really quick, just going to jump around to all the other signals because they're all extended. Netflix is an ad signal. 331.82 is my limit. 0.375% of my account capital. 1% is $5,000, so you can do the math on your own, but whenever you're paying only $1 commission, 0.375% of my capital is doable. First cut loss is 322.42. Second cut loss was right here, 319.33. Third cut loss, 305.72. And my final cut loss in this position, this ad signal, 292.61. The best overall setup from the CanSlim scan is CTRN, but CTRN has earnings on the 23rd before the market open. Do not take this trade at all unless you understand that this thing could gap down and create a huge loss. That's why it's only going to be 0.5% of my account capital. Limit order 3071. An initial very tight stop at 29.92. My second stop at 29.18, very, very close. And then my final stop, 28.67. If this thing doesn't move higher immediately and starts hitting stops right out of the gate, that's your hint that probably earnings aren't going to be too good. But pretty good setup. Huge accumulation on this uptrend. No volume selling pressure on the pullback. So hopefully we have an earnings surprise. If not, it's not going to cost me much. I'm positioning properly with my capital, so I do not mind. HIIQ, like this stock a lot, perfect speculator stock. It's a little extended right here, so it's extended from multiple moving averages, which means I'm chasing a little bit, but it was confirmed in my price volume BOP surge scan, so I do want to get long HIIQ. 0.75% of my account capital, limit order 3105. Multiple stops again. Here we go. 29.25, 28.40, 27.80, 27.30. 26.15, and then a final one, 1.6 at 21.60. Just like all the other long positions, this stock doesn't start moving higher immediately, especially if it starts pulling back on heavier volume or losing that green BOP catalyst. I'll be raising all of my stops, at least half to all of my stops. And then let's see, IRMD, new long position. This one's also extended from its 20-day moving average. Like this chart a lot. Unfortunately for me, I want to get that bar flat. Why can't anything ever? There it is. Unfortunately for me, despite me liking it, while BOP is going the other way, it is heavier than day before, so I can take it as a long signal. I've got a pocket pivot point signal on heavier average volume, so that's good enough for me, even though it's extended from its 20-day moving average. I really, really, really like this stock. I've been interested in it ever since that gap up here. I figure if I go long here, use multiple stops, that's the best case scenario for me. So IRMD, limit order 1865. First cut loss level, 1785. Second cut loss level, 1725. Final cut loss level, 1680. Really like this chart. Wish it wasn't extended from the 20-day moving average. I would increase size in it. But as it is, perfect speculator. It's also CanSlim. Since it's extended, 0.75% of my account capital. And then I have two buyback signals, quote, quote, buyback, quote, quote, ad signals. Do not take these trades unless you realize that they're probably not going to move higher immediately. Both of these are going to be 0.375% of my capital, just like Netflix, because not only are they extended, but they're ad signals. But NCNA, IPO scan, confirmed in my price volume BOP surge scan. CCXI, perfect speculator scan, confirmed in my price volume BOP surge scan. The only problem is that they're extended, but I got shaken out of both of these. CCXI, I got shaken out this day right here. This day knocked me out of everything. NCNA, can you see the day that knocked me out of everything? Hopefully you can, right there. Kept some tight stops. I had some loose stops, but after BOP went yellow, I moved them all up to this low, got knocked out. Well, with NCNA, I want to get long using a limit order at that pivot point area. of 25.41, 23.82 my first stop, 22.24 my second stop, and a final stop here at 20.68. CCXI, limit order 12.94, first stop 11.66, then 10.45, then 9.68. Remember, only 0.375% of my account capital. All right, everyone. End of day sell signals, high quality. IO is a 50%er. You move half your stops to 1 cent below today's low day. JYNT, move. I had a quarter here, had a quarter here, quarter here, quarter here. I got knocked out of a quarter already. So what I have remaining, 50% here, 25, 25 for now. This low goes. These stops are going to get raised, so keep that in mind. And the only fail today, APLS. I still have some shares with the low here, splitting what I have remaining, half here, final half right there. All right, everyone, very, 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 very busy day. I am now maxed out. If all of these orders fill, I am completely invested. I'll be about 95% long, a ton of positions that are all doing better than the market relative strength-wise, and then I'll have about 5% hedges. All right, I'll see you in the chat room on Tuesday. Aloha.